Today, I wanted to have a conversation with you guys, ask a few questions, kind of figure things out, maybe shoot out what's going on in my head when it comes to Call of Duty, Warzone primarily. Um, just a few questions, and if you can help me answer them, I'd appreciate it. My name's King, and first of all, I want to talk about like TTK. For the most part, we all generally agree that in Warzone 2.0, TTK is way too fast. Uh, if someone starts shooting you in the back, you more or less have no way to. You can have the high sensitivity. There's no way for you to be able to turn around and take it. Challenge back. They kind of have the advantage, and you're kind of stuck in that sense. But with that being said, I see a lot of people complaining about how that has no counterplay. But then on the same, like out of the same sides of their mouth, discussing about how they want one-shot snipers. So I'm a little confused. I'm a little lost as to where the TTK issue starts and the other one begins, because to me, one shot snipers have a certain amount of skill when it comes to maybe landing your shots from, I don't know, over 150 200 meters away, but at the same time don't have the same amount of skill, because if you just catch someone who's kind of like walking or transversing the map and you just clock them, then that really didn't take any. That's like shooting clay pigeons. So I'm really, really interested in trying to figure out and trying to understand or get a grasp for why people seem to want counterplay in some regards and not in the other, because that it's honestly just confusing to me. I think the TTK should be higher. I think a higher TTK. I'm not saying like it needs to take a full, I don't know, 4 seconds or something to kill somebody, because that's just like way too long. You might as well go play like a fighting game or something. But the we're at the point where you can fry somebody. I mean, we were stuck in a meta with the Fennec and the RPK for 100 days, so like 3 months and some change, where people were literally that you turned a corner in a building and you were gone. It's not too far similar right now, especially with the new Doof Doof, the that not the Tempest. What's the name of the shotgun? The Broadside, the KV Broadside, is out here literally destroying people indoors within, I don't know, 15 meters, because the range is still obnoxious even after the nerf. But I figured they weren't going to really nerf it because they still had a skin set to sell. But anyway, um, what else? I don't know. Like I said, this is just kind of me spitballing ideas. That's the first one that really came into my mind. The second one is, I guess, toxicity, cheating, hacking. I don't know whether it's better to turn off crossplay, because it seems to be that the majority of the hackers are playing from PC, and if you have crossplay enabled, you are opening up yourself to being like not botted, but having people use aimbot and having Cronus and all those other things on, and making the game generally a non-fun experience. I do think the developers and the anti-cheat, I guess, anti-cheat company that they have, I think they're using Ricochet, need to do something to step up their anti-cheat systems in game. I know Call of Duty, I believe, just won a lawsuit against one of these hacking companies, but you still see more and more people complaining about hackers in their game, and that's just going to drive down and eventually kill the game. A great example is like PUBG. Right now, if you look at PUBG, there's like 7 people that play the same game 30 times a day, and 4 of them are hacking. So the 3 people that aren't hacking just lose every other game and sweat it out, and that game is miserable. One of the largest, if not the definitive, uh, battle royale game at its peak. A lot of people call it the OG, the Godfather of battle royale. Literally has maybe one of the smallest player bases, and still isn't, and it's still riddled with cheaters. And I believe if Activision, Blizzard, Treyarch, Raven don't do something to really clamp down on the rampant cheating, you're going to see this game kind of go the way of the dinosaur as well. And I can't tell whether it's because they make so much money that they don't really care, or because there isn't enough true competition, but I think we're seeing more and more games cater to an original Call of Duty audience. I've seen a lot of mods. I've seen a lot of like there's that new Fortnite mod where they're because Fortnite updated their system and now people can create their own game modes and whatnot. And they kind of like made a fake Rust, and that looked like tons of fun. That looks like the way the game should be. And I believe there's a developer based Call of Duty 4 that's in the works that runs and looks amazing. But at the end of the day, these other companies and these other games are really getting able to make some headway because Activision, Blizzard just aren't doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to fulfilling the what the player base wants. I think that's kind of the reason why they're having such a difficult time sustaining their player base. They had one of the biggest fall offs and drop offs, especially for a Call of Duty title. I know when Call of Duty 2 or Warzone 2 first dropped, I feel like my friends list had like 50 people on it at all times, at any time during the day, morning, noon, night. Now I get on at what should be like peak playing gaming hours, and we're looking at like, I don't know, 12 people, maybe 6 people. And it's just one of those things where it's more surprising, more shocking to see the fall off and the drop in that sense because you want to be able to hop on game a few rounds with your pals and stuff like that and keep it going. But it's very interesting to see where, if they're going to continue in this trend, or if they're going to innovate, or if they'll regress. I think the main issue when it comes to Call of Duty is year in and year out they change the game. So in a sense, if Call of Duty was doing like Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, but kept on going, we'd be on like Call of Duty, I don't know, like 29 or something by now, right? But unlike other games that tend to go game one to game two is like an adaptive iteration. They learn from the other game, then they take some of the things that worked and they build on it and they keep on moving, keep on progressing. Call of Duty almost has like the MOBA mindset in a sense, where it's like we're going to completely change certain fundamentals and certain aspects of the game in hopes that our player base adapts and changes with the game. But uh I don't think the player base of the gamer, the people who play Call of Duty, I don't think they want that. I think they want something more akin to what their familiarity, what they're used to. So the more they try to change the game, the more they try to rewrite what's already done. Because the biggest outcry that I hear from Call of Duty players is that it doesn't feel like it used to. It doesn't feel like Modern Warfare 2 especially. It doesn't feel like Black Ops or Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 or it doesn't feel like the old days, the good days. And now people are complaining it doesn't feel like Warzone, doesn't feel like Call of Duty 2019, it doesn't have the mobility and the slide canceling and all this other stuff. And it's a certain sect, a certain group of people, conservatively like what they want or what they've had, and you have other people that want to progress into seeing what's different, what's new. I think one of the benefits or one of the new things that they've done that's really really well is DMZ. I call it baby's first Tarkov personally, but um, it is a good introduction to the extraction looter shooter or ELS for people who've never played the genre because Tarkov is daunting in itself. It's already a difficult and hard game, but you also have to like have a PC and be able to do that. Where the majority of Call of Duty players are on console, so it opens up the genre, or at least a taste of the genre, to a much larger audience. And I think if they were to kind of figure out or find a niche where you could do, because my hope and my goal, and I don't know if this is what they're working towards, but it'd be amazing if they did, would be some sort of marrying or coupling of Call of Duty or of the looter shooter, so the DMZ and zombies, kind of like an outbreak mode. But it'd be just when you start thinking of all the different possibilities that you could just do with that, where it's an extraction base, survival base, where you're trying to maybe they soup up the zombies. Some of them go in hordes, some of them are runners, some of them are, you can do some Last of Us stuff. Clickers, not clickers, but you know what I mean. Have like giant brutes, but also have, all sorts of things. So I think the future in that regard, game mode wise, has a lot of potential. But at the same time, currently, there could be a lot more done to DMZ itself to make it a good game mode and make it better. I think Warzone is more or less figured out. It's been figured out. It's not like how should I put it? It's not like people who were not good at Warzone, I guess 1.0 are worse or even better at this game. It's just kind of like you still see the same, like Huskers is still doing well and all those other Joe Woe. These guys are still killing it. And there's swag. There's no like slight against them being good at the game. It's just interesting when a game that's supposed to change so dramatically changes, but the top level, high level play doesn't like have much variance. You expect like, oh, the game's so different, the game's so much of this and the game's so much of that, that um that there'd be a shift, like a shift in power or something like that, but that's just not the case. Well, those are just my thoughts. Figured I'd just ramble for a little bit. Appreciate you. My name's King. If you enjoyed this, or if you, like I said, uh, if you can help me answer some of these questions that I have, or help me go through these thoughts, I truly, truly appreciate it. I love the game. I love playing it. I just want to know what the player base wants and kind of figure that out and go from there. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the good things that help with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.